2021. Welcome back to Build Theory. I'm Aurian Archive, and we're picking up on the ice tank that I didn't talk about earlier. We're looking at my ice electric. Technically, this was my second electric melee character. My first was an electric brute, and while I improved and worked on the brute over the years because of her theme. She was for a role play group. I never actually came back and worked on the ice electric tank. Yeah, this is literally her Titan. This is her Titan Sentinel import from when the game closed. Uh, and you can see I pretty much sweet spotted the luck of the gamblers had procs at level 28, and the majority of the IOs at level 38. And you can see that I had some 46s and a 31, what I could actually buy on the live market slotted in here. Yeah, this is one of the few live server builds I've still got left running. And if we check our stats, we can see she's not doing so hot. She is soft cap to smashing lethal defense, and she's almost soft cap to energy and negative energy. And if I turn on combat jumping, we do get closer on energy, negative energy, but we're not doing so hot on fire or cold defense, and we're doing really low on fire resist. Now, that being said, electric melee is not one of my favorite sets. Even after the recent tanker buffs, it's still it's it's more obvious now that the AoE damage is less than staff, and it's more obvious now that the single target damage is drastically lower than energy melee, and its various utilities are uh, not very well handled. And you can also see that this was pre using tertiary powers like Gloom or Dark Obliteration or Ice Storm to deliver extra AoE damage. And you also might note that she's so hungry for endurance that I had both Conserve Power and I took Energy Absorption and Hibernate. Now, uh, so there's a lot of things I don't like about electric melee. First, you have a tier 8 power that does almost no damage, and that's the PBAOE Lightning Clap. No damage at all. Now, some knockback has been added to it, so you can now slot it for sudden acceleration and have a knockdown, which, okay, that's fine when you're leveling, but if you're leveling a tank, you're not going to get Lightning Clap until level 35 when you're already in the mid range, starting to gain some full effect from IOs. If you're going for a scaling build, it's about when the scaling is. That's actually after when the scaling effect is going to be kicking in, so a little bit late in the build for a mitigation. I mean, Lightning Clap at Pump 3, that would make a lot of sense. Lightning Clap at Pump 8, no. The other thing is, there was a post for me on the Paragon forums where I had a smart aleck comment to make about players who skipped Jacob's Ladder. Now, Jacob's Ladder is one of the few cones. Actually, it's the only cone. Wow. Uh, actually, you do get some out of Thunderstrike. Oh, there we go. We just burnt out of endurance. Let's get toggle back up. Uh, Actually, let me make sure that that is still. Yeah, Thunderstrike is a cone. One of these, it may be energy melee, has the same animation, but it was only a single target, and wow, did that ever feel wrong. Because you do the animation that you think is for a single target, and it's for a PBAOE. Um, but I had a sarcastic comment, and you could judge an electric melee by whether or not they took Jacob's ladder. Well, as I was trying to squeeze in more damage, I noticed something kind of disturbing, and that Spring Attack was actually outperforming Jacob's Ladder. A tertiary, a pool power, was outperforming a primary power. Now, I hadn't noticed this on a brute, but it was, well, very obvious on a tank, which had the much lower damage modifiers, and you're essentially being punished with higher endurance costs. Let's swap those around so my muscle memory doesn't mess with me. Yeah, you can also see that I've kept many of the same key placements over the years, but still have older builds that aren't really optimized. And the lack of damage, and part of the lack of damage was down to the overemphasis on endurance drain of enemies. Problem is, enemies cheat on endurance, with a number of enemies being recorded on camera activating their strongest attack with just one endurance as a revenge motion against the players, because the players have effectively locked the character out of being able to attack. Dramatic case in point is Hamadon, the weakened Hamadon in Lady Grey Task Force. You can drain its endurance with a kin, you can wormhole it with the gravity, but Hamadon still, with only one endurance, will launch its most powerful attack and one shot one of your teammates, because the developers wanted to make sure that players couldn't mitigate all the risk of any encounter. Well, not allowing players to mitigate all the risk meant that an entire gameplay strategy of drain an enemy's endurance is impractical. You can't. There's no point to it. If they still attack, even if you drain the endurance, what's the point? Why even have the debuff at all? And more importantly, why do you punish the player by saying you get this debuff? Oh, but it doesn't actually work because we don't want you to turn an enemy off. Yeah, there are bad design decisions, and then there are facepalm, uh, head against a brick wall. Just what? How? That makes no sense. Problem is, it's on video, so can't really get out of it. All right. Yes, the swimming. All right. So the reason I'm kind of in here is, first of all, to get my hands in on this character, because I don't play her. Obviously, I've never rebuilt her. But what I want to do is I do kind of want to, taking what I know now, uh, taking a build that I've got now, an ice build, and turning her into something that, well, I would play. I already have a pretty good idea of how the powers are going to work. I have a pretty good idea that I can skip Jacob's Ladder, even though it's one of the few cones that I have. I do know I can make up that AoE damage instead of with Spring Attack. I can make it up with Dark Obliteration. And I really don't need Conserve Power. And let's see, what else did we have down here? I may or may not need Hasten. I'm not even sure why I took Hasten, because there's nothing in here, nothing in this set that has a long timer other than Conserve Power. Uh, so that's basically, that's one, two, several powers I can just reclaim right there. And free up some slots to put powers. like move my taunt up because I'm used to having the taunt up top. But we have an idea of what our UI should look like, or how I'm probably going to set the UI up. So let's bring our build files up. And okay, we got both our Ice Armor, Ice Soul R1 farm. Now I'm fairly certain at this point that I'm probably going to be looking at Soul. But because I've already got 2 Ice Maces, I may go with a different tertiary, and we'll see when we get down that far. Now let's make sure I got the right window to start with, and we've got our reference window in the background. Get our reference window synced. Alright, now we'll just do drop down, swap ice melee for electrical melee. Alright, now we lost lightning clap, we lost Jacob's ladder, we lost build up, and we picked up Thunderstrike. So we're probably not keeping lightning clap, even though we can put sudden acceleration in there. And gloom and dark obliteration are already slotted. Now, quick thought right here is drop Jacob's ladder, and we're picking up, okay, build up needs to be at least level 20. So we'll move combat jumping down. We'll keep lightning clap in here for right now. And we lost a for annihilation, or I can put eradication. And we lost our tanker ATO. Now, Lightning Rod remains our primary PBOE damage, so I kind of need to keep lightning the Armageddon for maximized damage. And we'll go ahead and tentatively pop and build up. Now, Havoc Punch or... Okay, for right now, we're going to quasi-pass on Havoc Punch. Because what I'm thinking is rocking build up all the way out. And this will let us put down a little bit more damage a little bit more often. And how do we want to change? All right, Thunderstrike is a PBAOE. Has a knockback component. For some reason, I've got Hecatomb 6 slotted, and I didn't notice that. I did not notice that Hecatomb was 6 slotted. So we could, on our energy absorption, go back to our preventative in-mod endurance, in-mod accuracy endurance. And we'll quickly do a file save as R2 because we made a change there. Bump that. Okay, coming back here, we're going to pull that slot and whoops. Save. And mod endurance. Oh wait, we're doing preventative optimization. Or do we want to do in-mod recharge or in-mod accuracy endurance? Alright, that gives us some endurance discount, even though it's already really low on endurance discount. But that's if you are up against a single target, you really do want to maximize your return. And if we look at here, we're now against a single target, pulling in 23 endurance and spending 8 to cast it. So we're getting a return on... We're not getting a bad return. So we'll kind of leave it there. All right, Thunderstrike. It looks like Thunderstrike is probably going to be picking up because we need our smashing lethal here. We have a knockback component, so we're probably not going to be able to take Avalanche because although it gives us melee smashing lethal, it gives us a chance for knockdown, which is going to make Thunderstrike even more obnoxious. So we're kind of locked into it's going to have to take our ATO. And that Dark Obliteration way down there. What our totals look like. Alright, let's make sure combat jumping is turned on. Alright, we are soft capped passively. We are on Spiritual Core Paragon. 2 smashing lethal energy negative, fire and cold without energy absorption. So we're doing pretty good. And we can put a sudden acceleration and lightning clap, and now we have a knockdown field. Alright, so that sounds like we've got a potential winner here. What's our... We're still rocking Super Jump. We do have other pools available to us, though. So we could do experimentation and swap Super Jump for Speed of Sound. And that allows us to... We've now got the teleport in Lightning Rod, and now we've got the teleport and Speed of Sound. So we've doubled down on we're moving fast, we can teleport, we can hit you, we can hit you, we can hit you. Alright, anything else do I want to change? Well, I could change Hibernate for Experimental Injection. I don't really need Hibernate so much. But if I do go up against Lord Recluse with that low energy negative resist, yeah, we'll keep Hibernate in there for now. Alright, we'll save as Ice, or rather, this is Ice Electric. And Soul. And Charge Brawl is weighing in with Hecatomb. Thunderstrike is taking the ATO with the Absorb proc. Icicles is carrying the Resist proc and the both Resist procs, both the plus resist and the minus resist. Let's see. Chain Induction, 28 as early as it can be had. Lightning Clap does no damage. Lightning Rod, Self-Teleport, early as it can be had. Alright, we've got... yeah, it's like we could change our build-up slotting to, say, Havoc Punch and have another attack early on. But with Taunt and Icicles and all of this early on, I think build up with Thunderstrike for low-level damage might give us a higher return. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to move Gloom down. We're going to move Dark Obliteration down. We're going to move Hibernate all the way to the end. Lightning Clap really late. It's really there just for, I guess, incarnate content. You know, when you run into something, you need to get away for a moment. Or you need to save a teammate. And that may be a good reason to take it. Okay, that gives us some good slotting. We got some damage as early as we can plausibly have it. So we'll save. Now let's think about different tertiaries. Okay. Arctic Mastery, Ice does fit. Earth Mastery, I've done claws, ice, or yeah, claws, ice, earth. Uh, Leviathan, I've done I've done a fire Leviathan and then katana fire Leviathan, and that just ate endurance. Mace mastery, mm, no thank you. Moo mastery, it's not really that damaging. No thank you. So we've really got pyre mastery, arctic mastery. Now I kind of do like the idea of uh, pyre mastery because with electric you really could go full antipodal. Oh, what's the triple tech with ice? Hmm, chrono trigger, triple techs. All right, triple techs. All right, we want fire, laser, double techs, triple techs. Ring of fire, delta force. All right, lightning, ice, fire, delta force. Yeah, you could go full. I like the idea of going full delta force with ice, lightning, and fire. Or you could even argue water, lightning, fire for delta storm. But it means taking either ring of fire or char. As early as everything is, I could do char, fire blast, fireball. Move our slots down there. Put a superior in tome and char. Yeah, that gives us a delta force or a delta storm. Well, don't ask me what I was just doing. And there we go. So there we go. We've got a plausible pyre build. File, save as, electric ice, electric pyre, delta force. Alright. Does anything else seem to fit? No, not really. Ice, electric ice. Let's just run up a Alright, this will take ranged. This will take cone. This will take. Do we get any return? Into self on static discharge. That's interesting. Alright, this is giving us. Let's just see what this looks like. Alright. We want to do slots and enhancement slots, auto arrange all slots. We'll take Moo Lightning out first. We'll fill you out with. Alright, we can actually take Frozen Blast on both of those, but Static Discharge will bring Endurance back to us. Alright, what do our totals look like? Alright, we're almost there on Fire Cold. Do any of these offer Fire Cold defense? Nope, just ranged. Can we pick up Fire Cold defense anywhere else? Yeah, we could pick it up there. What's the weave look like? Weave's kept. It would be really interesting. Actually, perform it while that. It's like I want to use either Power Transfer or Synapse Shock. If I use Synapse Shock, I can pick up some recharge time. Power Transfer gives me the self-heal back as well. Can I pick up some defense with... And I really want passive defense. Just had a sneaky idea. We're going to take the chance for heal self and energy absorption. We're going to put a +5 defense on here, and then we're going to do static discharge. I know that the chance for heal self is not unique, but that's the quickest place I can think of to pull a slot from. And we'll plus all of these up. And we'll lock this off first and check its totals. Effect static discharge. Okay, according to static discharge, I now would heal 93 hit points anytime it clicks, but I'm only pulling back 7.92 and on myself, but I'm spending 12.68. Yeah, this is one of the reasons where I have a hard the electrical attack, the Moo Mastery is a very hard sell because you are not even recouping your own energy consumption on the energy that's returned to you. And that's just frustrating. Uh, but it is an interesting concept build. And since I've got a number of ice characters, if I make one that's Ice Mace Soul, Ice Claw Stone, Ice Mace Fire, I guess Ice Electric Electric, I don't have a reason not to do this. What am I capped on? I'm capped on something. I'm capped on Fire Cold Resist to 6, but that's okay. Okay. I mean, it's stupid enough that I may plausibly make it just to have a thematic character. So we'll save as Ice Electric Moo. And we'll work at implementing this in game. Okay, do I want to change anything up? Well, I kind of already had changed everything up for the previous build and pulling slots early. So I think we'll kind of stay with this. She's a fast traveling, getting in close, shooting lightning at all the times. And it fits, so I guess that's what we'll go with. Uh, Now that question is, I'm actually going to go through this in game. Not tonight, I don't think. I'm alright